G'day, today in episode 470 of Trent365, I want to talk about system trust versus individual trust. G'day. So people tend to put their faith in either a system or an individual. And I think it's important as businesses that we understand which one it is that our guests are trusting for a couple of reasons. Partly because I think it informs the training and the processes we put in place, and also because it helps you define the action plan that you put in place for when that fails, when that service delivery fails. And case in point, this morning at the residence where I live in Malaysia, in KL, the pool is supposed to open at 6 a.m. and it usually does. But sure enough, a couple of days ago, it didn't. And this morning, when I saw the guy that was supposed to be on duty that day, he came up and apologized to me for the pool not being open because he was late. And the interesting thing is, I don't actually blame him for that. I blame the system. Because frankly, I didn't even know this guy until just this morning when I first met him. So I'd actually put my faith and my trust in the system, not in the individual. And so I think the important thing to remember is that when people put their faith in the system, you can't just turn around, which they did to me, and say, well, unfortunately, the guy was late. Well, that's not my problem. You should have had a process in place to know that he was late and then to fix it, to remedy the problem. And it reminds me of a time when I used to work on the night shift in Melbourne in the hotel. I remember I was the assistant night manager or something. And, you know, the morning chef, the breakfast chef, used to start at 5:30 to get breakfast ready for 7 o'clock. And the process was he had to come to us to pick up a key for the kitchen so that we knew that he was there. And I guarantee you, if we hadn't seen him by about 5:45, we knew we had to start making calls because we knew breakfast was going to be late. Or if we couldn't find somebody else to do the job, then guess what? Who was down there in the kitchen at 6 o'clock boiling the sausages? It was going to be me. And so in that situation, the guest had not put their faith in that individual breakfast chef. They didn't even know who he was. They put their faith in us as a hotel, in the system or the institution to deliver on our promise. So as a business, again, I think it's important to understand the difference between the two. And look, another point on the swimming pool thing, the guy is supposed to have the pool and the gym and everything open at 6 o'clock, but his shift only starts at 6 o'clock. And as a guest, I'm getting there at 6 o'clock expecting everything to be ready. The poor guy can't have everything open at 6 if he starts at 6. He's got to, roll out the towels, put out the sunbeds, do a whole bunch of stuff that is going to take him more than 2 minutes. So his shift really has to start at 5:30 for him to have the system ready by 6 o'clock. And whose fault is that? Again, it's not his fault, it's the system's fault. I put my faith and my trust in the system to deliver on the product and the service. So when you're looking at trust for your business, think about who your customers are really trusting. Are they trusting the individual or are they actually trusting the system? And if they're trusting the system, then it's your job as the manager or the owner of that business to get those systems right. And if not, to fix them. Alrighty, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. I will be back again tomorrow. See ya.